Sari ga ma pa da ni sa, sari ga ma pa da ni sa, sa ni da pa ma ga ni sa, sa ni da pa ma ga ni sa, sari ga ma pa da ni sa, sa ni da pa ma ga ni sa, na 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 na, sa ni da pa ma ga ni sa, na 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 na, sa ni da pa ma ga ni sa, na 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 na. Ati sundara लोचन विशाल नंद के लाल सरि ग म रि ग म प ग म प द म प द नि स नट नागर नि सा द नि सा प द नि सा म प द नि सा नट नागर Gari sani gari sani da re sani da pa sani da pa ma ga ma ga ma pa ga ma pa ga ma pa da ma pa da ni da pa da ni sani gari sani gari sani da gari sani da re sani da pa sani da pa ma
Din ta din taka din ta din taka din ta din taka din ta din taka din mi ta din taka din ta din taka din ta din taka din ta din taka
Hi, my name is Isha. This is the second time I've done Indian Ragga Labs. This one was quite different from the last one. Last time we had 2 weeks to do it, and this time we had a bigger time amount, and we could get much more stuff done. I played at the beginning Prelude number 12 by Rachmaninoff. I had to I changed it up a lot just so it could fit into the thing, into the song, and so it would transpose easily into the composition that we were playing.
Okay, and what else was different? Did you get to compose anything this time by yourself? Did you figure out some of the stuff?
Yeah, I composed how to figure to add the composition, the song that I played into the composition, and the
You composed the ending?
no.
Okay.
I thought I did, and then I remember we did the second one.
Okay, and what was the most fun part of this experience?
I think the most fun part was on Hangouts. We used to play around with the special effects, and Akash and everyone started just making fun. And so did Harsha too. He started making special effects, and it was pretty fun.
Okay, what about the bugs today? Do you want to say something to them?
He puts bugs spraying in the grass so the bugs will come to us, and he was kidding around with us, and I've been jumping up so many times.
And screaming.
And screaming. And screaming. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anything else you wanted to add by yourself?
I think I got it all.
You got it all? Okay. You want to show your nail paint to them?
Yeah, I got nail paint done.
My name is Sudarshan. This is the first time I've done the Indian Ragga Labs. What I really liked about this was how we got to incorporate new kinds of things all up when I was in swarams and kodways and stuff cool stuff like that into our composition. And it was a fun experience because we got to play with 2 pianists and a violinist and all vocals after that.
Do you want to give any instructions about costume to people who do labs in future?
Costumes?
Yeah. I came with the wrong costume.
Yeah, I came with the wrong costume, so my dad went to Kohl's and bought 50 different kinds of things for me to wear, and we showed it to Sriram, and then he chose the right shirt for us. So remember not to bring the wrong shirt.
And make sure your brother's
Is there anything about the piece that's interesting to you? This is Indian classical coming together with Western plus everything.
Yeah, it was cool how Harsha taught us to mix everything together, and it was just really neat.
Well, my name is Tanvi, and
Louder.
This was my first time doing Indian raga, and what I found different was that I don't usually work with like other kids. I usually work by myself, so
And also other genres? Carnatic.
yeah.
Talk something about that.
Um, and it's been different because this is like a Carnatic piece, and
It's not a Carnatic piece. You're working with Carnatic musicians. It's
yeah,
coming
and
together.
yeah. I'm actually I'm from Bentonville, and I had to fly
Which is where?
Bentonville, Arkansas. And I had to fly from there to Chicago.
How was the video shoot experience? What did you learn?
Sometimes whenever I start shooting, I get a little tense. So then I actually do something wrong, and then whenever I'm not actually shooting, I do it right.
So what did you learn from like all the video shoots that happened?
Well, it takes a really long time to practice, more than I thought, and you have to work through it a long time. It's a really long time.
Can you tell something about this piece? What this piece is all about?
Well, so this piece was actually a Hindustani piece that Harsha transposed to let Carnatic vocalists sing. And so Tanvi, being a Hindustani vocalist, had that knack to sing in a Hindustani style and way. And so being able to sing a Carnatic, like in a Carnatic way with the Hindustani vocalist is very hard. And having a Sarvalagu interaction in a Hindustani song just makes the song a much more different piece because it's like completely mixed. There's no like actual genre to it after.
Can you tell something about the video shoot experience?
Isha is very scared of bugs.
Well, this is my first time doing Indian Ragga Labs, and well, it was a really different experience for me because I've never recorded in a studio, and I've only accompanied people with Carnatic singing backgrounds. So it was really cool for the mix of like Western, Carnatic, and Hindustani pieces.
Anything fun from what is the most fun thing you did today?
Today, watching Isha bugs.
Anything else? Like how many times did you do the shoot?
Oh yeah, the video shoot took a really long time, and we had to keep doing it over and over again because some people messed up.
Some people.
And anything else you want to add about the whole thing?
Yeah, it was a really fun experience for me. I definitely do it again.
Well, I'm not used to playing with people. I usually just play by myself. And it was different because I can't just play whatever I want. I have to follow the vocalists. So that was different. And also, this is my first time doing this. And I really like the concept because you kind of mix like Indian classical music with Western music, which is a really like interesting mix. And it sounds really nice once you finish. And there's a lot of hard work that goes into this. We had to redo this like many, many times. But now that we're done, I really feel proud of what we did. It sounds great.
Why is it important to bring together Indian and Western genres of music?
Because a lot of people think they're both very different and there's no way you can mix them, but we did that. And the sound is like fantastic now.
Great. Anything else you want to add about the fun you had while doing?
No.
Okay. Okay, I think that's it then. What do you think?
I'm bringing conjugations back. Yeah. Infinitive, just don't cut it, Jack. Yeah. Take out the ending and put something back. Yeah.
Well, this is my third Indian Raga lab, and this is the first one we're doing with all instruments, no vocalists at all. And well, when you're doing with vocalists, there's a few sangatis and some variations that they won't be able to sing, but only instruments can bring that out. So it was like really interesting to be accompanying for that, especially using konakol and the tani, which is not usually done by like regular kacheris. So it was a nice fusion, and I had a fun time. Recording took a lot. We recorded many times, but like, I mean, we messed up at this one part. I think it was during the transitions to different ragas, since this is a raga malika, and we had to keep on working on that, and it ended up we just had to like correct one note, so that was pretty funny. And
So, what audiences, while watching this video, what they should like look out for are the sangatis, and it's not a sangati, but one portion of the video is where the veena does a tanam, and like veena is known for its tanams, and singers can also do it, but not to the extent the veena does it. So that's a really interesting piece. And usually most people don't accompany for tanam, like only some various artists do it, but it was really nice to accompany for Tanam because it's the first time I've ever done it, so I had a fun time.
Well, at Indian Ragga Labs, we did like sort of a Raga Malika piece, and like it was like a lot of work, but we got through it. Some of the ragams kind of don't even exist, but there was Varamu, Pratimadam Hindolam, Chandrakans, Surya, Hindolam, and Sunada Vinodani. And this has been my first Indian Raga Lab, and this has been a really great experience for me. And well, when we were playing, performing outside, we were really like, it was really itchy up there, but and it was rainy and all that stuff happened. Well, we managed through it, and we just took that first shot. Harshad's a great coach. He's taught me all this great stuff, and it's gonna be on live YouTube.
This is a great instrumental piece we worked with. It was based on 5 ragas we have taken. It starts with Hindolam, and then it was a transition into Surya, and again it was into Hindolam, which we have done a kind of experiment with Pratimadima Hindolam. It's a kind of Pratimadima Hindolam, and from there we are transitioning into Varamu, and after then to Surya, and from Varamu we are transitioning into Chandrakans, and from Chandrakans we are ending in with Sunada Vinodini. These all whole ragas doesn't have Rishabham and Panchamam. That is the main specialty which we have picked all these 5 ragas and we are working in with. And it's hard for us to play without Panchamam and Rishabham repeating when we are transitioning from one raga to another. It was a bit hard, but we done it very well and it came out very well. We enjoyed it. The tune and the rhythm and everything, they were like very nice in this piece. We enjoyed a lot while we are practicing in Hangouts and even while we are recording and even with the shooting. This piece we worked especially on Tanam on Veena because it is very great to play Tanam on Veena, and especially we have taken it the ragam Varamu because it sounds great playing Tanam in Varamu. And here we have done an experiment with Mridangam along with the Tanam, and the Laya and Shruti were perfect and it came out very well. So they just want to try to play my Veena and they tried it well. And everyone want to try each one of others' instruments, and I played Mridangam and Rishabh played Veena, and we all learned much like what part goes with which instrument.
So this is my second Indian raga, and the reason it's different from the previous one I've done is because it's full instruments, no vocal, absolutely none, and it's like you can show all the vocals, all the instrumentals, there's no lyrics, it's just full swaram and full improvisation. And Harsha, it was just, there's no words, because he built it from scratch, and then he trained all of us to then play it like this, not at like a bad level. He made us play at a really like amazing level. During one of our live practices, Sarvag, okay, so we were playing the main line, and it's supposed to end in Sa, but for some reason he specifically goes and ends it in Re. Probably one of the only notes that are not in the ragam. And so, yeah, Harsha and the rest of us just burst out laughing.
Okay.
So hard.
This composition, Natanagara, is a very beautiful composition composed by the legendary Pandit Ravi Shankar, set to Raga Kiravani. Kiravani is one of these very classical, beautiful ragas which migrated from South Indian classical music to the Hindustani system and now very well developed in both systems. So I thought that would be a very ideal raga to choose for this group. And we also had some kids who were very well trained in Western classical music. So the Rag Kiravani also happens to be the the C harmonic minor. So Rag Kiravani happens to be the C harmonic minor. So we did something very interesting. We took a Western composition and transposed that to the scale in which they were going to record in. And so that's where the piece is now. So I hope you all like it.
And how was it like working and bringing these different genres and styles together? Like what did the kids learn or not enjoy about working with each other?
I thought the biggest learning process was majorly between the Hindustani and Carnatic and Western classical. So generally these kids happen to be really good and very talented when they individually perform, but when it comes to a group there is a lot of coordination, acceptance of others and thinking which has to go through. So in that sense they really had to work together to make sure this piece sounds together as like one classical, nice sounding composition.
Okay. And do you remember any funny stories from the incident, from the shoot or from the audio recording or the Google Hangouts?
Oh yeah. So one of the funniest incident was so there is this concept of Korvai or the grand finale which comes in Carnatic music, which is very typical of Carnatic. There is something called Tihai which is an equivalent in Hindustani. So the Carnatic Hindustani kids were trained in that up to some extent, but for the Western classical kids it was totally a new concept. So it was very funny for them to pick it up initially, but then in the end they realized, oh yeah, actually it sounds really cool. So okay, so the composition for the second group, the idea for the composition evolved as follows. So we started off from with Hindolam and Sunada Vinodini, these two ragams. The reason was because the Gamadhanis of Hindolam are exactly opposite from the Gamadhanis of Sunada Vinodini. So we thought this would be a very good experiment to do. And as we were thinking about the composition and also with all the inputs from the participants, we decided we should have some very nice, interesting transition from Hindolam to Sunada Vinodini. And for that, we picked these ragams where by changing Ga of Hindolam, we came up with Surya. By changing the Ma of Hindolam, we didn't know what the ragam was, so we named it Pratimadhyama Hindolam. By changing Da of Hindolam, we came up with Varamu. And by changing Ni, we had Chandrakaunts. So we have done this very beautiful, interesting amalgamation of these ragas, which lead to Sunada Vinodini.
And how should one appreciate this piece? What should they look out for?
Okay, there are very interesting elements into this composition. There are like melodic parts where there is just the improvisation of the rags in those particular, which bring out the actual melodic aspects of those ragams. But there are also certain parts which are very calculation intensive, and that was very interesting for the drummers and also like the knowledgeable audience. So it is a very nice balance between the melody and the rhythm. So we also had something very interesting as we started the composition. We thought we should do a mixture of Konakol along with the Mridagam Tani. So generally it is not very common in the concert platform, so we thought we'll try out something different. So I hope I hope you all enjoy that. And the idea of the composition was to have like a very groovy line which was in Hindolam, and then we decided to have the same line retuned in all these ragams which come one after another. And in the end we basically changed the tune of the Hindolam line with the same rhythmical pattern but to the Sunada Vinodini part, which brings out a little more melody of Sunada Vinodini than the Hindolam. So it's a very interesting thing because you can really observe just that change of one note can make a whole lot of difference in these melodic compositions.
Shana
ma ma ga re sa na ga na ga ra. Sa ni da pa ma ga re sa na ga na ga ra.
ಅತಿ ಸುಂದರ
Right.
ಲೋಚನ ವಿಶಾಲ ನಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಲಾಲ
So that fast swarams, Gautam, you are playing, right? Niza, ta niza, pa da niza, ma ba da niza, na da na ga da. You play that also, otherwise it suddenly sounds empty.
Okay, so then I play that and then I go straight.
Yeah, then straight. Can you play your swaram once? Na da. Sa ni ga ma ba da niza. No. Huh.
So you can get like nice running. I agree. I never liked running either.
Your knee has to be good. Your knee. 1, 2, 3. No, you have to take it. Sorry, once more. 1, 2, 3.
Da 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 da